Welcome to MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins. I'm your host, Spencer Neuharth, and today we're joined by Janis, Brody, Randall, Collin, Alyssa, and Reva. This is a 10-round quiz show with questions from MeatEater's 4 verticals, which are hunting, fishing, conservation, and cooking, and there is a prize. MeatEater will donate $500 to the conservation organization of the winner's choosing. And for the stat of the week this week, we're looking at each player's win percentage. Brody leads all players in this category, winning 40% of episodes he's on.
God.
That's followed by Steve and Clay at 36%, Randall at 34%, Janis at 22%, Cal at 14%, and Mark at 10%.
I'm still better than Randall at something, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go. You've got the higher win percentage.
I need to refine my love for trivia. It's been lagging lately.
Oh, wow.
Higher win percentage and probably more games in your career.
I think Brody,
Impressive.
his wins got a little fat before Randall showed up. Randall didn't arrive until probably, a year and a half into trivia?
We're just saying, I've just been on a little bit of a heater recently, but before that there was like a 7-month stretch.
Sure.
Where there wasn't any point.
How can we help you
up.
find your love again, Brody? What do you think it would take?
All fishing questions.
All fishing questions. Today there are 2 fishing questions, including question 10.
Yeah. Excellent. You hear that, Randall?
This may be the trick for Brody.
Yeah.
All right,
I like all the questions that I get right.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter about the category.
Here's our infrequently asked questions segment. If you have a trivia-related question for our crew, send it to trivia@themeateater.com with the subject line IFAQ. Jenna Short says, why did you stop doing the correct answer recap? Not everyone has a fill at home to tell them how many points you have. I'm sorry, Jenna. This is a common bit of feedback I get. I just forget sometimes. Sometimes I forget for like 3 weeks in a row. That's my bad.
He's so desperate for the game to be over. He's fed up with us.
I just forget. I would like to remind folks of the correct answers every time, so I will try to be better, Jenna. It's too bad everyone doesn't have a Phil at home, though. Phil?
Yeah, maybe Phil could keep track of reminding you to do that. It's not only the score, but also the score reminder.
Mm-hmm. That is good.
Spencer would love that.
Yeah, give Phil more responsibility.
He's just telling me the other day he doesn't have enough stuff to do at work.
Hey, that was a secret.
Now, for housekeeping this week, we have a trivia live event coming up that Randall will be hosting. Randall, tell folks about what's going on and how they can participate.
Yes, we will be playing trivia at Backcountry Hunters and Anglers Rendezvous. So if this is airing this Thursday.
This is airing tomorrow, June 11th.
Tomorrow, June 11th. So on Saturday, that would make Saturday
June 14th.
13th?
14th is Saturday.
Oh, geez. Well, I've got it all screwed up. Anyway, if you're going to be at Rendezvous and you'd like to play trivia on Saturday night, we're going to have Cal and Mark Kenyon and some other folks playing with us, but we want to have a couple listeners up there as well. So email trivia@themeateater.com. That's trivia@themeateater.com. And I'll say I'm gonna try to do it as randomly as possible. But if you've submitted several questions that have made it on air, if you're a committed team member to this broader project of trivia, just flag that for me.
Okay.
What if someone sends you some waypoints?
Yeah, waypoints.
Hunting permissions.
You got a cabin I can borrow for a weekend?
Yeah, start with bribery, and if that doesn't work, then let us know how much you participate in trivia.
Or if you got a good joke, that you think I'd really like. I'm just saying it's gonna be. We want sort of a representative selection of our audience members up there. But
how many folks do you think you're going to play?
I think I'm aiming for like 8 participants.
Okay. That leaves the door open for 5 or 6 folks.
Well, we're gonna have some BHA folks playing, and maybe some other folks from sort of the conservation community. But I'm hoping to leave like 3 or 4 spots for MeatEater trivia audience members.
Randall said he already has 7 questions.
Yeah, I got 7.
How many questions do you think you're going to do?
I'm going to do 10.
Okay.
Play a standard game. Yeah, no need to deviate from a successful model. We will have a tiebreaker. Just sort of all the usual fun. I'm actually going to bring, if you'll allow me, Spencer.
Take them.
I'm going to bring the actual boards. So yeah, it'll just add to the authenticity of the whole thing.
The one with the cracks in it is the one Steve uses.
Yeah, there
Indeed.
are a few that Steve has tried to teach a lesson to by slamming them on the podcasting table.
I came up with a great question this morning.
Wow.
I was listening to the morning news, so if you want it, I'll pass it on.
You save that for a future episode Yanni is hosting, because I might tap you here soon to take over hosting duties if you're willing.
Ooh, sure.
Later this summer, we'll have another Yanni hosted episode.
It sounds fun.
All right, so June 14th, email trivia@themeateater.com if you will be at BHA Rendezvous in Missoula and want to play trivia.
Thank you.
All right, the Shelby Index for today is a 5, so I'm putting us on perfect score alert. And with that, we're on to the game of trivia. Play the drop, Phil.
Oh, I lost my thing here.
Look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything.
Game on, suckers!
Question 1, the topic is conservation. This will be multiple choice, and this first great question is via Carrie Payne. According to a 2019 article by me, the most common ticket game wardens write is blank without a license. Is it hunting, fishing, boating, or driving? According to a 2019 article that I wrote on themeateater.com, the most common ticket game wardens write is blank without a license. Hunting, fishing, boating, driving.
I was trying to figure out how Saturday could be the 14th, and that's because today's Tuesday.
Oh,
I had the wrong day in my head.
cracked the code.
I lost. Yeah, sorry, it was bugging me.
I like the shirt you're wearing today. It is a Taylor Swift inspired mosaic of Baby Billy. Is it Freeman? Baby Billy Freeman? Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, just the algorithm offered this up to me.
Okay, and you said I can't turn
And
that
I was
down.
a fool. I bought it.
The algorithm has also offered that shirt to me.
Yeah.
I did not click through though.
Well, you're a stronger man than I am. I showed up at Steve's house this morning, and he said, "What is that?" And I said, "Are you familiar with the show, The Righteous Gemstones?" And he said, "No."
I don't watch serial shows.
And
Did he say that?
No, but then he
Insane take.
I said it's sort of the show about a church, and he said, "So it's a church you go to?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Oh, I get it's a joke shirt."
I get it.
And I said, "Yeah, it is a joke shirt." And he goes, "Huh." And then he said, "How's the joke going?" And I said, "It's 0 for 1 at this point."
Oh, this is your debut of that shirt.
yeah, it just
Okay.
arrived in the post.
Did you know it was a play on the most popular Taylor Swift
not until you
Eras
just
tour shirt?
not until you just said that.
That like the shirt from the Eras
Yeah.
tour was that.
I think it adds a
in
whole
her
new.
different eras.
It's a richer text now.
There you go.
Yeah, Spencer, the wording is according to a 2019 article by me. The only thing I can picture in my mind is that meme of Obama giving himself the presidential medal or whatever.
Actually, well, again, Carrie Payne sent in this question, but it's according to a 2019 article by me. The most common ticket game wardens write is blank without a license. Hunting, fishing, boating, driving. Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Yanni saying fishing. Everyone says fishing. Everyone got it right. The correct answer is fishing. In that article, I interviewed game wardens from across the country. 6 wardens from 6 different states told me it's by far the most common ticket they write. Wardens from Ohio and Alabama told me it's purely a numbers game. They might check as many anglers at a single boat ramp in one weekend as they do hunters in an entire deer season. Question 2, the topic is woodsmanship. This scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral. The room is stumped on question 2. We just had a 100%er. Now we may have a 0%er. This scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral.
When you were halfway through reading that question, I was like, I know this.
Yeah.
Were you gonna go with Richter? Is that gonna be your answer?
Well, I mean, when I was just
no, sure.
Not anymore.
It's not Richter. This scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral.
This was used in a podcast in the past 2 years by a guest.
On the MeatEater podcast.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
thought that would be a great trivia question.
Oh, wow.
And then I
It was a great trivia
filed it
question,
away.
Except for nobody is going to get it right, it appears, which means it's not a great trivia question.
Oh, it is. It is.
This scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral. Randall had an answer that it looks like he erased.
No, I was trying to spur some thinking on my
okay.
part by doodling.
This is question 2. Does anybody have any hope for getting this one? No, Alyssa's
No
shaking
chance.
her head.
No.
No. Yanni has an answer.
I've got some hope.
Okay. This scale,
Always the optimist.
which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the
Give us a hint,
hardness
Spencer.
of a mineral.
Yeah, what's his first name?
Not going to give any hints.
Do we need a first and last name?
Not going to give you any hints. If
it's
the
just the
room
scale.
would agree, I would give one hint. Is that you guys
yeah,
want
let's
that?
go.
Yeah.
Agree,
Yeah.
agree.
Way
Everyone
more
wants
fun.
that?
Agreed.
Okay. The German geologist who it's named after, his last name is 4 letters.
Oh, my answer is way too long.
Okay. 4 letters.
Oh.
Oh.
This scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral. That did
Is
not.
this a common German name?
Not going to tell you anything else. That clue did not help anybody in the room, though. I don't see any inspired answers.
Mm-mm.
I feel like I remember doing this in like junior high. Like,
I bet there are some middle schoolers who are listening against their will who know this answer, that their parents do not. Again, this scale, which is named after the German geologist who made it, measures the hardness of a mineral. Do our players give up?
Yes.
I'm out.
Yanni's still
Yeah.
writing. Yanni, go ahead and reveal your answers. Yanni says cough. Alyssa says pH. Randall says bond. Reva without an answer. Collin without an answer. Brody without an answer. Nobody got it. The correct answer is Mohs hardness scale. That's
Would never have got
Mohs.
Nope.
Mohs hardness scale.
It was not used on a podcast. I take that back.
Okay. Mohs hardness scale is based on the ability of one mineral to scratch or be scratched by another mineral. It's measured on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a diamond. Agate, flint, and chert, which are 3 of the most common rocks used by ancient humans for arrowheads, all fall somewhere between 6.5 and 7.
What's the one that like a knife maker would use for the hardness of
Don't know.
steel?
Don't know the answer to that one.
good trivia question.
Rockwell.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Question
No wonder.
3. The topic is
Not 4
fishing.
letters,
This next
jeez.
great question is via Joey Gardner. This 10-letter word is defined as, quote, fish such as salmon or shad that migrate up rivers from the sea to breed in fresh water.
We haven't had this before.
I've never had this before. Randall, quick to answer. Brody and Yanni have joined him. This 10-letter word, which is defined as fish such as salmon or shad that migrate up rivers from the sea to breed in fresh water.
Boy,
Half of our room is confident.
that perfect game didn't last long.
Did not.
You
Question
teased
2.
us with a 5-point
Question
Shelby
2
index.
was a stumper. Shelby got that one right.
Jesus.
Because she is a rock hound.
That's true. Yeah.
Lives with a rock hound. This 10-letter word is defined as fish such as salmon or shad that migrate up rivers from the sea to breed in fresh water.
Speaking of rock hounding, did you hear about this fossil party that Randall's going to this summer?
No.
Yeah. I thought you might want to know.
Well, I would.
The Dino Shindig in Ekalaka.
Oh, you did tell me this. Yeah. It's like a weekend festival there.
Yeah, they do. Researchers present their findings, sort of a community engagement.
Is there
thing.
music?
No.
Randall may bring the
You
music.
said party.
Yeah, well then we go out on a dig on Sunday. Go out on a field dig.
That'd be fun.
Pretty
That is
exciting
a
stuff.
fossil-rich
What do you think
part.
about that,
So
Spencer?
world.
shindig is more of a play on words.
Yeah, my understanding of the origin of the event is that there's so many researchers from all over the world that go to eastern Montana to dig dino bones, and so the Carter County Museum, I believe, came up with this event to sort of facilitate more engagement with the community between these researchers and, the people that they essentially live with for several months out of the year.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm
Health
excited.
formation,
How are
very
you
famous.
not going to that, Spencer?
I don't know.
It's a tough ticket.
A lot of my favorite rocks I have in my possession.
You
come
got to
from
be a
that
doctor
part
to go or
of the
something to get a
country.
ticket?
No, but it helps.
Is everybody ready? Go ahead
I'd
and
like to think.
reveal your answers. We have Janis saying anadromous, Alyssa without an answer, Randall and Brody the same answer. Collin says swimmerous.
Swimmers with 3 S's.
Swimmers with 3 S's.
Had to get to 10.
The correct answer is anadromous. Some of the most common anadromous fish are salmon, smelt, sturgeon, char, and lamprey. The opposite of anadromous is catadromous, which are fish that spend most of their life in freshwater but go to saltwater to spawn. An example of this is the American eel. Question 4, the topic is hunting. This crossbow brand is named after King Arthur's weapon. Randall already has his answer. This crossbow brand is named after King Arthur's weapon. Yanni is now joining him. This crossbow brand is named after King Arthur's weapon.
Phil, you got this one?
question
Oh, you
4.
know I do.
Figured.
He's got the
It's
answer.
the only
over
one
there.
I've got.
Lore.
So much lore. I'm reading The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman right now. This is featured in it.
You ever see that movie, The Green Knight?
The Green Knight, I have not. No, though. I like that is right up my alley in every single way, and I have not seen it.
It's weird.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend. Thanks for
wow.
reminding me.
Yeah.
You know
Made a
this?
movie recommendation. Phil says I'm going
I
to
believe
watch
so.
that.
I don't remember anything about it other than it was weird.
Brody, how do you
Sounds
feel
great.
about your answer?
Oh, it caned me at the end there. Feel
This
real good.
crossbow brand is named after King Arthur's weapon. Collin now joining them. Yanni, have you ever shot a crossbow in your life?
I've never, never cocked one. Never. I don't even know if I've ever handled one, honestly.
Okay.
You don't know what you're
It
missing.
appears as though Randall has.
Oh, yeah, I'm an Ohioman.
Oh, yeah. You
Are
boys love
you
your
guys have had it
crossbows
for a
over there.
while? Like,
Yeah.
since you were in high school?
Yeah. The first deer I killed was with a crossbow.
No kidding.
All
And
my
imagine
buddies-
that. There's still deer in Ohio.
Yeah, all my buddies, like in
I
high
can't believe you
school,
would tell the public that.
we went out to Dick's Sporting Goods and we all bought like those crossbow packages and just started
Slaying.
going after them.
That's fun.
They're pretty fun.
Somehow the deer survived.
Yeah. I was actually joking with Corey. They were like going to go do a photo shoot, some like lifestyle photos of like shooting archery and sitting around a campfire. And I said, you should just take a bunch of photos of guys pulling back crossbows.
That would have been good.
I've shot 2 bolts ever through a crossbow in my life. And my takeaway from those 2 shots was that the learning curve is nothing. If you've never shot a bow, a gun in your life, you can pick up a crossbow and hit a 10x every single time.
Especially if you got a scope or a red dot on
Yeah.
that thing.
I think my crossbow's still in my parents' basement back home.
Okay.
So if laws ever change here, I'm gonna
You could still have it,
be
you're
a
just not
big
using it.
archery guy.
One of my favorite bits of Star Wars production design is they made Chewbacca's gun look like a crossbow, even though it shoots laser bolts for no practical reason.
What's it called? The something
Bowcaster.
caster? Yeah, the bowcaster. That's right.
Does everyone have an answer for the crossbow brand that's named after King Arthur's weapon? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Yanni saying Excalibur. Alyssa says dagger. Randall, Excalibur. Reva, sword. Collin, Barnett. Brody, Excalibur. The correct answer is Excalibur.
Barnett Rhino. That's a badass crossbow.
The Excalibur
have?
crossbow brand was created in Kitchener, Ontario in 1983 and was acquired by Bowtech in 2013. The Excalibur sword was said to have mythical powers. It was placed in stone by Merlin the Wizard, who foretold that only the true king would be able to remove it. That wound up being 15-year-old King Arthur. Question 5, the topic is wildlife. This next great question is via Max Hoggy. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, sea otters develop purple bones and teeth after years of eating this invertebrate. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, sea otters develop purple bones and teeth after years of eating this invertebrate? Brody, quick to answer. Yanni, quick to answer. Do you boys think you know this or you're just guessing?
Pretty sure I know it.
Okay. Yanni's
Feeling
nodding his
confident.
head as well. This is question 5. We'll get a scoreboard update from Phil the engineer after this. Again, the topic is wildlife. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, sea otters develop purple bones and teeth after years of eating this invertebrate.
Like seeing Randall's face change colors.
He is stumped
Yeah.
over there. Do you have an answer yet, Randall?
Makes you feel good about yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah. He's like an octopus.
I don't.
It's funny that Brody, you mentioned that you're having trouble finding the verb for trivia, but man, you come alive when Randall doesn't know the answer to a question.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
doesn't
it
happen
takes.
often, right?
Take Randall being stumped to bring Brody some joy. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, sea otters develop purple bones and teeth after years
But
of
I also
eating
think
this
Randall plays
invertebrate.
possum now and then.
Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 answers in his head. He just hasn't put them to whiteboard yet. That's what's going on over there. And he already knows which one he's going to pick.
No, I don't like what I have written down.
Oh, wow.
Well, then quit dragging it out.
Oh, that got him to put his whiteboard down. Randall, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Janis saying urchin,
Oh.
Alyssa, octopus, Randall, squid, Reva, sea urchin, Collin, jellyfish, Brody, sea urchin. The correct answer is sea urchin. About half the room got that one right. This phenomenon is known as echnochrome staining. Its impact can range from a couple of purple teeth to an entire purple skeleton. A similar thing can happen to humans who eat too many carrots, which can turn their skin orange. Phil, we're
Didn't our
halfway
friend
through.
just post a picture of that?
Heather did, actually, when I was Googling for the flavor text. That was one of the top results, was that Heather had a sea otter that had some purple teeth on it. Phil, give us a scoreboard update.
We've got Alyssa and Collin with 1 point. And coming up next is Reva with 2. Randall has 3, and tied up in first place are Janis and Brody with 4 points.
Good job.
Anybody's game.
Good job, Janis.
Thanks, Brody, you too.
Question 6, the topic is conservation. The Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Wildlife defines this 6-letter word as, quote, a technique used to deter an animal from an area or change its behavior. Brody, Randall, Yanni, all quick to answer. The Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Wildlife defines this 6-letter word as a technique used to deter an animal from an area or change its behavior. Collin, Reva, and Alyssa have blank whiteboards.
I had to do
6-letter
this
word.
to some little baby juvenile robins in our yard the last couple weeks
Okay, why didn't you want them there?
because my dog will eat them.
Oh, okay, that's appropriate.
You know how they can only kind of fly for
Sure.
a few days?
They have just the right amount of mobility to make a pet interested in
He
them
got one
at
and
that
busted
stage.
its legs.
Oh, then what happened?
I had to euthanize it.
The
We,
Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Wildlife defines this 6-letter word as a technique used to deter an animal
Which
from
I
an
probably
area
shouldn't have
or
said
change
because
its
I
behavior.
think that robins are protected by that.
Songbirds.
They are.
I didn't euthanize it. I put it in a bush.
Thought about it.
We've got
metaphorical.
some pair of sandhill cranes that supposedly, we've never kept track, but supposedly the neighbors say they've never raised a colt to flight. And right now they have 2. that are
What's getting them?
that are-
Boxes or bobcats?
I
or
guess.
something? Yeah.
Well,
Mingus?
Well, there's a bunch of feed in the neighborhood, and so I just figure, the foxes and coyotes just hang out on the trail that goes to the feed and nip them.
Yep. Maybe
what kind of
rap-
area do they like up there? Because I feel like they like in avalanche chutes. But do you have some of those around your place?
No, but it's like a big meadow above a kind of on a hillside above a creek bottom, swampy, willowy creek bottom.
Okay.
Imagine
Could be the-
raptors could
Yep.
get those suckers too.
Again, a 6-letter word, a technique used to deter an animal from an area or change its behavior. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Alyssa, Reva, and Collin without an answer, and Janis, Randall, and Brody saying hazing. They got it. The correct answer is hazing. Hazing is often employed as a non-lethal alternative to simply killing an animal. It's commonly used on predators such as coyotes, cougars, and bears that get too comfortable around humans. Hazing is also sometimes done on waterfowl that are damaging crops, parks, and golf courses. Question 7. The topic is gear. This brand says they started, quote, a mosquito fighting revolution in 1999 when they created a portable heat-activated repellent. This brand says they started a mosquito fighting revolution in 1999 when they created a portable heat-activated repellent. This is question 7. Collin, you got this one right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Were the bugs bad
You
up?
have some of these at your house, I'm sure.
Oh,
Giannis, were the bugs bad up in
You know,
in
we were
Canada?
using this product.
Yeah.
But once we would get out of the tree and not use the product, they were bad.
I am headed to northern Minnesota next week, and I have one of these packed with me.
You doing
We're
some
ready.
canoeing or what are you doing?
I'm doing a road trip to Isle Royale, and along the way, I'll do some fishing.
Nice.
I'll have my kayak with me.
Nice. I'm going to Hand Lake next week too. Same time.
Okay.
Yep.
You better have one of these with you, too.
Yep, sure do.
This brand says they started a mosquito fighting revolution in 1999 when they created a portable heat-activated repellent. Is everybody ready? Do you have an answer now, Alyssa?
I do. I don't know
Okay.
if it's right. but-
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Yanni saying Thermacell. Alyssa says off. Randall, Thermacell. Reva, Citronella. Collin, Thermacell. Brody, Thermacell. The correct answer is Thermacell. It took engineers at SC Johnson 4 years to perfect their heat-activated repellent, but before its debut, the product was delayed for more market research. That's when the development team decided to launch their own brand, Thermacell. The product works by using a small butane cell to heat a repellent that makes a mosquito-resistant zone. Question 8. The topic is public lands. This is our listener question of the week, which was won by Bridget Farrell for sending this great question. Bridget is going to get a board game signed by the crew. If you want a chance to win our listener question of the week, then send your question to trivia@themeateater.com. The Timberline Lodge, which is owned by the U.S. Forest Service, served as the fictional Overlook Hotel in this 1980 movie. Randall and Brody, quick to answer. Alyssa now joining them.
I think
The
I've been
Timberline Lodge, which is owned by the U.S. Forest Service, served as the fictional Overlook Hotel in this 1980 movie. You think you've been there,
here. I
Alyssa?
think I've been here.
Okay.
If it's, I'll say more
Okay.
once I know I'm right or wrong.
That's right, Alyssa. Don't be giving anything away.
Randall and Brody feel very good about their answer. Yanni, who I think is tied for first, has a blank whiteboard right now. Reva, do you know this one?
I feel like I should. I don't know if the one I wrote down is the right one or not.
The Timberline Lodge, which is owned by the U.S. Forest Service, served as the fictional Overlook Hotel in this 1980 movie.
You going to be tied for second here, Giannis?
I came up with a movie that I think is from that era that has the hotel plays a prominent role in it.
Oh, wow.
I think you got it.
Okay.
Sounds like you're on the right track.
Collin, do you give up?
Yeah, probably.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Yanni and Alyssa and Randall and Reva saying The Shining. Collin without an answer. Brody says The Shining. The correct answer is The Shining. The Timberline Lodge is located inside of Oregon's Mount Hood National Forest. The exterior of the building is used for establishing shots in the movie. The lodge asked Stanley Kubrick not to depict Room 217 in the film, which is where much of the book takes place. Instead, they used a non-existent Room 237. However, Room 217 is still the most requested room at the hotel.
Yeah, I've stayed there.
Screw that.
I think
have?
the
I stayed there,
actual
yeah.
Overlook Hotel
scary?
just sold like in the last couple days
The
for
one in
like
Colorado.
400 million or something.
That's the was it the Stanley Johnson?
Hotel.
The
It just says
Stanley Hotel. That's
yeah.
in what, Estes Park?
Estes,
Yeah.
So that was what
I think it just
that's
sold.
what the they were staying in when he wrote the book. But I think they filmed part of it at the Timberline Lodge and then part of it at a lodge in England, I believe.
Well, yeah, and they go up Going to the Sun Road for the
Oh, yeah.
opening of the movie in Glacier. Yeah.
Phil, we have 2 questions left. Give us a scoreboard update.
Here we are. Alyssa and Collin still tied up, and now with 2 points. Reva has 3, and the 3 players remaining in the game are Randall with 6, Janis and Brody tied up with 7.
How many questions left, Phil? 2?
Question 9. The topic is cooking. Meat that is prepared a la blank is typically served in a cream sauce that contains mushrooms, pimentos, and peas. Meat that is prepared a la blank is typically served in a cream sauce that contains mushrooms, pimentos, and peas. Randall, quick to answer. Do you have this one right?
I think so.
Wow, this could create a 3-way tie if Brody and Yanni don't get this one. A la blank is typically served in a cream sauce that contains mushrooms, pimentos, and peas. Yanni, do you have this one right?
The pimentos are throwing me
Yeah,
off.
they're throwing me off too.
Brody also joined them with an answer. Brody, how do you feel about your answer?
Ooh, not so great, but it's what came to me.
Yeah, I mean
Huh.
the pimentos are also messing with me a little bit. I'll be
I
honest.
feel like Mountain House had this as a flavor back in the
Really?
day.
If you're
Is that what you're thinking?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
loved it.
I'm
Oh,
gonna,
wow.
I know, me too. I actually bought one of those
Yeah.
big giant cans
so
and then
good.
would
I didn't know
separate it
this.
out into my
Yeah.
own little baggies.
Okay.
So good.
Meat that is prepared a la blank is typically served in a cream sauce that contains mushrooms, pimentos, and peas. Do all those clues make sense for what you have from Mountain House? Is it a cream
There's
sauce
a lot of clues
that contains mushrooms,
and a
pimentos,
very
and
important
peas?
question.
Yeah.
But we know what the next one is. The next category already is.
Yeah.
That's right. Question 10 will be fishing. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Janis saying king. Alyssa says cart. Randall, king. Reva,
like that.
creme. Collin, without an answer. Brody says king. The correct answer is king. Brody, Janis, and Randall all got that one. I'm impressed that all 3 of you knew that. A la king is a retro dish that can be made with various meats, but is typically done with chicken or turkey. It's usually served over the top of toast, biscuits, puff pastries, mashed potatoes, noodles, or rice. For a wild game version, check out Lucas Leaf's article on the MeatEater.com called Rabbit a la King.
Yeah, the Mountain House is what I first thought of when I saw this, and it's the only time I've ever enjoyed this dish.
Here is a correct answer review so far.
Nice.
1 was fishing without a license. 2 was Mohs hardness scale. 3, anadromous. 4, Excalibur. 5, sea urchin. 6, hazing. 7, thermocell. 8, the shining. 9, king. Phil, let's get one last scoreboard update before we do question 10.
It is down to Janis, Randall, and Brody still. If Randall wants a chance, Yanni and Brody need to choke.
Or if they go to a tiebreaker, it doesn't matter who wins if I get that perfect, because then I'll steal their thunder.
You gamed this
There
out.
you go.
I don't think I said Janis and Brody have 8, Randall has 7.
Question 10, the topic is fishing. The original Senko worm was created by Gary Blank Custom Baits in 1996. Brody, very quick to answer. Yanni, do you know this one? He's writing
Yes.
as though he does. Randall has now joined him with a correct answer as well.
Tiebreaker.
The original Senko worm was created by Gary Blank Custom Baits in 1996.
So can we sample that for a new overtime jingle?
Yeah, that'd make my job easier. I was going to go Pat Benatar, but this will be way easier for me.
The original Senko worm was created by Gary Blank Custom Baits in 1996. This is question 10. If Yanni and Brody have this right, we will go into overtime. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Janis saying Yamamoto. Alyssa says Meep.
I'll argue.
Randall says Yamamoto. Reva says Senko. Collin says Berkeley. Brody says Yakamoto.
Oh.
The correct answer is Yamamoto.
Come on.
What do you guys think?
Well, this is going to a tiebreaker.
What do you guys think? There's a Yakima bait, which is out of Washington.
You know what?
I'm not voting.
You know what?
I'm not voting. I'm out of this.
No. Give it to Janis. I'm fine with it.
Alyssa, what do you think, Alyssa? Yamamoto is the correct answer. Brody has a
no. Why
K
does this
instead
have
of
to
an.
be on me?
Well, I'm going to ask Reva and
okay.
Collin as well.
I feel like there's many examples of people spelling and or slightly getting an answer
Yeah.
wrong.
Mostly
Dermepted.
Seth.
This is Dermepted
Yeah,
Beatles all
it
over
is
But
a
I'm
again.
Dermepted
cool.
2.0.
Like, give Janis the win.
I think it should go to Janis.
Oh, wow. Reva, what do you think? Yamamoto or Yakamoto?
I didn't get it right.
I would say since both of these two were able to get
Oh,
it right,
okay.
then it probably is.
All right, we don't even need a vote from Collin then. Brody, you
I
did
expected
not.
more support
Brody, I
than
was
that.
going to vote.
Sorry, Brody.
Brody, I was going to vote for you.
The correct answer is Yamamoto, giving Janis the victory.
Almost
Oh, thank
rediscovered my joie de vivre, but
Still lost. The first Senko mold was made from a Bic pen that Yamamoto used to draw lure designs. The plastic stick bait went on to be one of the hottest items on the bass fishing market. In a 2021 article on the MeatEater.com, Joe Cermelli called it, quote, the dumbest, simplest lure ever made. Yanni the winner with 9 correct answers. Yanni, what are you going to do with that $500 this week?
Well, I think since the BHA rendezvous that I didn't get an invite to, never even got an email from those guys. I'm probably not on
I
there.
don't think anyone gets an
their
invite.
list.
It's like the national.
I know.
Yeah.
But you think Randall would have been like, you want to come and
You'd think
host?
so.
I assumed
host
you were
trivia with me?
busy. Thought you'd still be in Manitoba.
I'll be in Michigan. But let's give it to them because, we got a lot of public lands fighting going on right now. And interestingly, I had to make this point this weekend when I was running the Scout Mountain 50. We had some other public land users out there on the trails with us.
Doing
some
what?
side-by-side users and some motorbike users. And must have just caught the day of bad apples. I was literally in a creek, splashing around like a kid, trying to get my shoes all wet because it was starting to get hot out there. And all of a sudden, I realized that there's a dirt bike like centimeters from me. Like, I'm surprised the guy didn't brush me as he went by. And on the trail, I met quite a few people that were kind of like, rah, 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 dirt bikers. And I'm like, look, you got to be nice to everybody. Remind them to also call their senators and tell them how much public lands mean to them. When the race started, you could hear public land
Aficionados.
dispersed shooting going off in the distance. And some of the racers were like, we're going to run by people shooting guns. I'm like, it's fine. They're all just out here having fun like we are. It's all good. And so, we just have to remember to all be buddies so we can keep doing what we like to do on public lands.
Good reminder, $500 going to BHA. Well done, Yanni. Join us next week for more MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins.
Yeah, Spencer from South Dakota, he's the host. Using those smooth, mellow tones, he lays them questions down. And he likes taking those 2- and 3-year-old bucks. And he's an avid amateur rock hound.